Welcome all, my dear friends. Let us enter into another significant arena of the world of patents, that is known as patent drafting. So, after having a lots of discussions on the most significant sections, rules, and forms of the Patents Act 1970 and the Patents Rules 2003, respectively, let us enter into this beautiful and most important arena of the world of patents. Okay, so let us continue with patent drafting. Fine. So, patent drafting or otherwise we can say patent specification writing. Okay, and today I have taken the topic patent specification. Okay, so let us proceed with this. Now, a beautiful thought, friends. Just listen it carefully. Grasp the essence from the seed and let it drip from your fingertips. I'm again reading it, friends. Grasp the essence from the seed and let it drip from your fingertips. And that's called drafting. I hope it is clear. Fine. That means I have tried to explain you the storm drafting in a literal way with showing some beautiful clips. Fine. I hope you get it. Okay. So let us proceed. Now we will have a comparison because whenever we say what is a draft, normally we go to its literal meaning. Fine. So first of all, we will go to the literal meaning of a draft. Fine. Okay. We can say that a draft is a preliminary version of a piece of writing. Fine. Or it is or we can say a draft is a written order to pay a specified sum. Fine. So this is the normal and literal meaning of draft. Now we will go towards what is a patent draft. Fine. Because this is the demand of our legal world or the world of patents. Fine. Okay. Let us see. A patent draft is a technical document presented in a legal format that has two primary functions. Fine. Number one is to establish novelty, and point number two is to establish inventive step or non-obviousness of an invention. Fine. Also, we can note it that patent drafting is the process of writing the patent description and claims. Fine. When the patent is issued, the draft is the specification part of the document. So, whenever you will try to understand the meaning of this statement that I have written in the note part, then your confusions will be clarified. Fine. So, just remember, patent drafting is the process of writing the patent description and claims. Fine. And when the patent is issued, the draft is the specification part of the document. Fine. So, the comparison has been done. Let us proceed. So, friends, after discussing about the two contents of the complete specification that were, or we can say that are title and field of invention, now it is the turn for background of invention. Okay. Also, friends, I have mentioned here the older slide where I have discussed about the contents of the complete specifications. Just take a look. Fine. Okay. Now we shall proceed. Background of invention. It is also known as state of the art in the field. Fine. The next point. This section means this section of the complete specification demonstrates the primary need for an invention and provides a basic context of the invention. Fine. The next point is the section discusses the existing problem that the invention proposes to solve and includes all previous works that have attempted to solve the problem. That means here in this particular section of the complete specification, discussion is done on the existing problem and the proposed invention. That means and the invention that is or the present invention proposing the solution part. Okay, so it should include all the previous works that have attempted to solve the problem. Okay, so this particular section talks about the previous works, talks about the existing problem, that means which were not solved by the previous works, and now the proposed invention that uh, gives a very good solution or a better solution. Okay, so yeah, this is fine, we can proceed. Now, background of invention continues. It indicates the status of technology in the field of invention and focuses on identifying patents, experiments, publications, journals, and pending patent applications in the specific field. And all this information is collectively referred to as prior art. That means prior art is defined here very clearly. Fine. Second point is it is not necessary to specify the closest prior art in the background section in India. That means as per Indian Patent Act, it is not necessary to specify the closest prior art in this particular section. Fine. Next point. Describing prior arts generally is sufficient without specifically identifying them. Okay, that means identification is not actually needed. We can say that describing prior arts are generally sufficient without identification done specifically. Fine. The next point is due care must be exercised as an acknowledgement of something as prior art. We can say, just read it like this, friends. Due care must be exercised as an acknowledgement of something as prior art may act as estoppels during the prosecution of the application. That means the thing is that, or the apprehension is that, the prior art may create an obstruction, okay, or it can clog, okay, during the prosecution of the application. That's why due care is exercised as an acknowledgement of something. Fine. Okay, so I hope now it is pretty much clear. So let us proceed. Now, let us look for some do's for background of invention. Fine. So, first point is double space after every line. That means after every line, there should be double space. Fine. Next point. Use system for, comma, method for instead of system of and method of. Okay, that means for should be used instead of. For example, system for should be used and not system of. Fine. Next point. If X contains A, B, C, etc., then use X includes A, B, C and the like. Fine. Now we will look for don'ts for background of invention. Fine. Okay. First point is length of sentence should not exceed 2 lines. That means for a sentence to be formed, the maximum lines number is 2. That means the limitation is 2 lines only for a sentence. Okay. Next point is don't use pronouns. Don't use pronouns. What is a pronoun? For example, Ram goes to school. Okay. He goes to school by a bicycle. Okay. So instead of Ram, that means instead of repeating the noun, I have used here pronoun. That means he is the pronoun here. So here there is a restriction for using the pronouns. So we can say in this section, that is background of invention, pronouns should not be used. Okay, I think you got it. Next point. Don't use informal words like etc. That is etc. That is okay. So informal words like etc. that is should not be used. Okay. Next point. Don't use wherein, comprises. Okay. So the words like wherein, comprises should not be used. So just remember this don'ts for this particular section, that is background of invention. Fine. Okay. The next one is, we can say, we can remember some important points on background of invention. Fine. Okay. First point is, don't tell novelty in the background. That means inside this particular section of the complete specification, novelty should not be told or discussed. Okay. Next point. Don't use derogatory words for prior arts. Okay. Though friends, though our objective is to show that the previous solutions were not proper and our solution is the best one, our solution is the best one, still we should not use any kind of derogatory words for the prior arts. Got it? Okay. Next point. Tell disadvantages of prior art in terms of advantages of present invention. Okay. That means directly we should not discuss about the demerits or disadvantages of the prior art, but we should tell much more about the advantages of present invention, so that indirectly the disadvantages of the prior art are known to the public. Fine. But directly we should not say the disadvantages. Fine. Next one. Don't use pronouns. That I already discussed. Next point. Don't use wherein, comprises in the background. That also I have discussed. Try to make a story. Okay. Always try to make a story. Next one. Paragraph should not be more than 12 to 15 lines. Okay. So the limitation of the number of lines, the limitation for the number of lines in a paragraph in this particular section of the complete specification is 12 to 15 lines only. Perfect. Okay, let us proceed. Some more important points. Okay, on the same. So that's why we can say this is the continuation of the previous slide. Okay. So see, the point is, in the first paragraph, try to cover the broad field of the invention. Okay. Broad field of the invention should be covered in the first paragraph. The next point. In the second paragraph, try to cover the subfield of the invention. Okay. That means we can say in the first paragraph, a generalization should be there, and in the second paragraph, a specificity should be there. Okay. Next, starting from the third paragraph, provide references of prior arts. Okay. Starting from the third paragraph, references of prior arts should be provided. Okay. Next one. To refer prior arts, use the phrase, there are a few patent or patent application or non-patent literatures which provide a method and system for ... Okay. For example, we can say, in the US patent ... means number this, a method and system for ... is provided. The details can be filled. Okay. So just try to remember this important points, very important points at the background of invention. Fine. Okay. So friends, this slide is also a continuation of the important points on background of invention. Okay. So let us start. Don't limit the scope of examples and things written in order by using and. Friends, this operator and actually limits the scope of the examples. That's why it should be avoided. For example, system X includes A, B and C. Instead, use system X includes A, B, C and the like. Fine. Now, alternative to using and the like is use system X includes but may not be limited to A, B and C. Fine. I hope it is clear now. The next point. Try to give examples to explain every concept. Okay. That means each and every concept should be explained by giving examples to making the understand better. Fine. The next point is strictly follow antecedent basis. Antecedent basis should be strictly followed. Okay. The next point is use the words. Just listen carefully. In addition, moreover, further, furthermore, etc. Like means this type of words. These are used to continue the new sentences in the same context. Fine. And finally, we can say to illustrate different ways of doing same thing or different embodiments, use in another embodiment, comma, in yet another embodiment, etc. etc. Fine. I hope now this is pretty much clear. Okay. Okay then. Illustration of prior arts. Okay. To illustrate various prior arts, prior art references, use. Okay. First one. In another US patent Y, the system and method for ... So we can say abstract from patent Y with certain language modifications. Okay. Next point. In yet another US patent Z, the system and method for ... That is abstract from patent Z with certain language modifications. Okay. The next one is last paragraph of the background should highlight the need of present invention to overcome the disadvantages of the prior arts and to provide certain benefits without disclosing novelty. Okay. Just listen it carefully. Last paragraph of the background should highlight the need of present invention to overcome the disadvantages of the prior arts and to provide certain benefits, and this also without disclosing the novelty. That means the objective should be highlighted. Okay, that means what is the need of this present invention, but that too without disclosing the novelty part. Okay. Next point. Start the last paragraph with the phrase, in light of the above stated discussion, there is a need of a method and system to ... Got it? So I hope it is clear now. Fine. Okay. As a whole, we should be careful about some important point. So just remember. Fine. First point. The state of the art section should not label anything as the invention while describing prior art or prior arts. Okay. The section should not be titled as state of the art for the invention. Okay. So please take care and remember this statement. Okay. Next point. Inclusion of the word invention may limit the interpretation of the inventive subject matter to the disclosed prior art. Fine. So try to avoid this. Not avoid this actually. This should not be included at all. Okay. So word invention should not be included. Fine. Next point. The state of the art should only highlight the problem that the invention solves. Please take a look here. Only highlight the problem that the invention solves. It should not be used to describe solution of the identified problem. Just go for the problem, not for the solution. Go for that particular problem which the invention solves, but don't describe the solution part. Fine. For example or for instance, the section should not include sentences such as there is need for systems and methods that allow automatic transfer ... Fine. Next point. In cases where a substantial part of the invention is a discovery or recognition of a problem, the problem should be discussed in the detailed description section of the patent specification and not in the state of the art. Okay. For example, that means we can say that where a substantial part of the invention is a discovery or recognition of a problem, then this problem should be discussed in the detailed description section of the complete specification and not in the background of the invention or the state of art section. Fine. Okay. Next point. Care should be taken so that the state of the art does not limit the scope of the invention in any manner to any particular field of use. Okay. So, for example, we can say description of the problem in the state of the art in one specific field can limit the scope of protection to that field only. For this thing, it should be taken care that the state of the art does not limit the scope of the invention in any manner to any particular field of use. That's why we can say more generalization is needed here. Okay, so please remember this very important points. Fine. Now comes the most awaited slide for this video lecture. Okay, questions for you. Question number 1. What do you mean by antecedent basis as mentioned in one of the slides in this video lecture? Okay. Question number 2. Disadvantages of prior art should be addressed directly in background of invention. True or false? Question number 3. What should be the size of a paragraph in terms of lines in background of invention? So friends, please try to answer these questions in my comment box. Okay. So please go through all the slides. Please try to grasp the essence of this video lecture, and if you are getting stuck anywhere, please write them or please ask any kind of queries regarding this lecture in my comment box. Okay. Keep learning, keep enjoying. So friends, enrich your brain cell with proper food and proper knowledge. So thank you all my dear friends for listening to me and watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Please keep questioning. Please keep learning and keep enjoying. Thank you so much. God bless you. Jai Hind.